Welcome all viewers. So what am I with? It appears with two Dodger fans here, right?
That's correct.
Just want to remind everyone this is a safe space for Astro fans too, not just Dodger fans.
It's a safe. I'm not an Astros fan. So you're sympathetic then to Astros fans?
No, but I have to be nice.
There you go.
I got the expletives out yesterday.
I was at work yesterday, so this is the first time I can actually watch this series, so I'm going to try and keep it tame.
You got eyes on you now.
Yeah, I just got to keep things slightly professional.
Don't go full Yankees. Or Yankee fans.
The only time people actually felt bad about Dodgers and Yankees fans.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that's something that will never happen again.
Yeah. I'm a Yankees fan, so it's a weird feeling to be on the favored end or something.
Yeah, I live in Denver, and I've always gotten hated for being a Dodgers fan. I'm like, all right, that's cool.
Couldn't hop onto the Rockies? Are you from Denver?
I'm from Denver. I love watching Kershaw.
There you go.
I mean, everyone out here, they say I hate the Dodgers, but I love Clayton Kershaw. Right? I respect Clayton Kershaw. There's always that Kershaw condition.
Yeah. That's fair.
He transcends that rivalry.
Yeah. I think that's a fair take. Have you been to any Rockies games?
I went to one this year.
Nice.
And missed a grand slam because I was just walking to the outfield. So
nice. That place looks so nice. I would want to go there. It's
a beautiful stadium.
Yeah. Denver just seems like a cool city.
The last Dodger game I went to, we were just kind of hanging out at one of the tables at the Centerfield Plaza, and the people who we were stand next to were saying, like, Denver's so beautiful, you have to make it out to Coors at some point. So we're trying to get a trip out there soon.
Yeah, that's completely accurate, at least in my opinion. It's why I signed up to be one of the All-Star Weekend volunteers.
Oh, are you doing that?
Yeah, I'll be
nice
volunteering. I mean, why not?
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'll probably do that when the game comes out to Los Angeles next year.
Yeah, I've been looking to get
It's been a while, feels like.
It's been almost 2 months. He played since the Oakland series. And that was he's been out since like the 6th game of the year, I believe.
Well, that'll be a plus.
Yeah, it's easy to think like how good the offense has been without Bellinger.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be scary with Bellinger.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's like their biggest strength, like for the last decade, is that they just are like so deep everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, when they aren't having the worst stretch since 2017, when they just kind of forgot how to play baseball, they've only lost 3 games outside of that losing stretch.
Right. Yep, they know what they're doing for the most part.
And they're not even in first place in the division.
Yeah.
See, this is what happens when you give the Rays money.
Yeah, no, that's a
yeah, it is
an astute point.
And I think it's fascinating this year that the top 3 teams in baseball are all in the NL West.
Well, it was like that in 2017, deep into June too. I think with Diamondbacks, Dodgers, and Rockies.
Yeah.
It's like the cicadas.
Yeah.
Every 3 years, the best baseball comes out of the NL West.
Yeah. I mean, the Rockies usually start hot. So when they don't, that's when you know it's going to be a long season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually said that at the beginning of this year. I said like every year it feels like the Rockies are like 8-1 or something to start the year. I have no evidence for that, but it always feels that way. And they were particularly bad this year, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough watching. It's tough watching them. But
Yeah, because there's no way Trevor Story is staying after this year, right?
He's gonna get traded.
everyone I've talked to about it says they think he's going to get traded.
Yeah, and I feel like he's just a slam dunk trade.
They're just preparing for it. I mean, I'm thinking it's going to be like a Manny Machado trade for the Orioles, where it's just like, we're an awful team. Just give us some lottery tickets for our generational shortstop.
That Machado trade will never cease to amaze me, and I'm kind of grateful that it happened the way it happened, because they originally wanted Verdugo, and then who was it? Yasniel Diaz hit 2 home runs in the
Neil
Futures game.
Diaz.
So they're like, we want him, so we kept Verdugo long enough to get Mookie Betts.
Yeah, it's all a chess match, it feels like. You know, you trade Yasiel Puig to the Reds and then let Verdugo play right field, and then Mookie Betts is available, and they want Gavin Lux, and they say, "How about Verdugo? He's not going to have a place to play in our. He's not going to have a place in our lineup, and he can play right field." But Dodgers won that trade, at least in my opinion, just for winning that World Series last year.
Yeah.
They set out to get that final piece. They got it.
I mean, I have to. It seems like it'd be almost impossible for them to not win that trade, pretty much.
Yeah.
Unless the worst case scenario was that last year, if there was no season at all, and then
he re-signed to the Red Sox.
Right.
But you have to remember
Well,
the Red Sox have financial flexibility, so it's really a push.
Financial flexibility and Alex Verdugo.
Because he's been
in Boston now.
He's been really good for him.
Yeah. I mean, it makes me kind of sad, because I loved Verdugo, but we have Mookie Betts. I can't complain too much.
Yeah, there's no place for him. Unfortunately, I love Dougie, but I also like winning the World Series. And if trading Dougie is the cost of doing business, then
yeah, because I don't think he would have made half the defensive plays that Betts did, especially in the NLCS. To cover
he was a highlight reel in the NLCS. Also, the Braves forgot how to run the base pass. So.
No, it took a little bit, but the Atlanta sports tradition finally came out of the Braves on that one.
Yeah. Helps when you forget to tag up going from third to home. But I'm surprised the Braves aren't as good as they are as they were last year.
Well,
they've been sort of weird this year.
Yeah, it's really the pitching. I thought for sure like Morton would still not be like what he was in Houston or that first year in Tampa, but I thought he would still be solid to help anchor that rotation.
Yeah, the pitching was so shallow too. Like there wasn't a whole lot of depth behind like the big guys, and I'm not huge on Fried either, to be honest. I don't think he's bad by any means, but
I don't think he's bad, but
he's not a number one.
I would take other players over Fried if I had to pick from the non-Dodgers pool of pitchers this year.
I just don't think he was probably quite as good as he showed last year.
Yeah, last year was just a weird year, really, for everyone. It's one of those things where if someone had a bad year, I'm like, it was a weird year.
Yeah.
Like, I just kind of throw it out. I shouldn't.
Well, I think there's a lot of reasons that could very much be true, though.
Yeah.
That's kind of the mindset I've taken, is that, I try not to let last year, like, hinder my opinion of people too much.
Yeah, I look more at the peripherals and, like, the StatCast numbers when looking at last year. Because it's such a short sample size that really that's going to give you the best indication of what the heck happened with everybody.
There's only one thing I know for sure happened, and the Dodgers lifted the Commissioner's Trophy. So
that's all that matters today.
Only one team can win that final game every year, so.
Yeah, especially because it's so heartbreaking that we were there twice and couldn't get it done.
Yeah. That Kershaw start last night was amazing.
Yeah, I watched the highlights. Man. That's like Cy Young Kershaw right there.
I mean, he could have gone complete game if the 8th inning didn't take forever to complete. Because they're just walking guys. The Astros bullpen just kept walking players last night. I think they scored 3 runs off of 3 walks drawn with the bases loaded. So, I mean, I'll take it, but I also kind of wanted to see Kershaw go complete game against a team that may or may not have robbed him.
Yeah, because on Mondays they were playing Game 4 on Spectrum, so we were watching a little bit of that. And I think everyone talks about Game 5, and rightly so, and what happened at Minute Maid. But Game 2 will haunt me for the rest of my life. There were about 2-3 plays that if it went the other way, the Dodgers would have won in 6.
Yeah. Game 5, it's the stuff of nightmares for me.
Yeah.
Just because, like, you're spotted one of the greatest pitchers of all time, a 4-run lead and a 3-run lead, and he can't even use his off-speed pitches because they're not whiffing at any of them.
Yeah. I think that was the most heartbreaking part, like, because I think everyone went back and revisited those 3 games in Houston when the story broke. And I think it was top of the 5th. Like, he throws a perfect slider that just dips out of the zone, and they don't swing at it, and you just hear him scream. Oh, yeah. That breaks my heart now.
And, you know, the common response is they won Game 2 and Game 7 in LA. Like, it wasn't, how could we be cheating if we won games on the road? I'm like, that's cool. But you knew what the signs were for Yu Darvish.
Yeah.
In Game 7. And Kenley Jansen throws 1 pitch. or he did that year.
Uh-oh.
And not to forget, too, like, if Puig... Oh, now I gotta see this, because I heard the uh-oh. But if Puig read his defensive alignment chart like he was supposed to...
Yeah, you guys didn't react. I didn't want to spoil it for you.
It's early. It's not
Plenty of
ideal, but
baseball
it's early.
left. What are you guys watching on?
ESPN.
I'm on the Dodgers channel.
Okay.
Because I don't want to mess with the blackouts out here.
Yeah. I'm in New York, so I get it. I get it on MLB TV. But all right, tough start for Bauer. I'm curious. Are you guys both Bauer fans? Do you not like him? What?
I love Trevor Bauer.
You like
I'm
him?
conflicted on Trevor Bauer.
Yeah.
He's a phenomenal pitcher, and he's doing so much to promote the game.
Yeah.
It's just a couple of a couple of things about him just kind of irked me the wrong way, like how he takes certain questions or how he responds to certain controversies.
Yeah.
Like there's a professional way to handle it.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to put it. Because, like, I mean, I think he's really good. And, I mean, obviously he is quite good. But, like, I think some of the things he does are good for baseball in general. But I think the problem is that he's, like, just kind of a bad dude. He's not a great guy.
Like, I love the vlogs, you know what I mean? I've watched every one he's done with the Dodgers. I don't like that he starts them out the way he does. You know what I mean? But it's a good way to offer that behind-the-scenes access that people want to see.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of things he does that could be very helpful.
I just kind of take the good with the bad. You know, like no one's perfect, and that's kind of like my justification for it. Is it wrong? I don't care. It's my opinion. I think he's great for baseball. I mean, Fernando Tatis hits a home run off of him, does the one eye celebration, and he like 10 years ago, if someone mocked a pitcher like that, they're getting thrown at the next at bat. And Bauer's instead applauding it. Like, I think we're used to the whole let the kids play slogan, but he's really on the forefront of like players just having more fun.
Yeah, because I loved him in San Francisco. Come on, like, boo me louder. You know what I mean?
Are you not entertained?
He brought out the actual sword in his last start too.
Yeah.
Now that's the one thing I'm looking for, because I know he's going to be pitching well, but let's see if he does the sword on the left hip like Setsugo told him to do.
Yeah.
Come on, put him away.
Come on.
To be honest, I have absolutely pretty much no idea how Bregman is doing this year. Let's find out.
He's having a good year.
Iron, just the 3 old school, 319, 6 home runs, 25 RBIs. Gotta look at the OP and all that.
Oh, he's doing quite well.
Yeah, I think his OPS plus is like 146 or something. So it's not like he's having a bad.
Plus is 150 right now, so not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, 145.
Pretty in line with his good years, it appears. And he walked him.
That's what I don't like, because like Jose Altuve, he was a good hitter. Bregman, he was a good hitter. Correa, good hitter. Like I just don't get why you would cheat. But
yeah, Because I think it is kind of that Barry Bonds thing. If you ever heard of that conversation he and Griffey had in the late 90s before he started juicing, he's like, they don't give me respect in the media. I do all these amazing things, but they just want, championships and rings. And that's kind of the incidence of the cheating.
That was a part of it.
Yeah. Because
pretty tight zone, it looks like. At least what's up?
I was going to say, as great as you are, the discussion inevitably comes to rings. You can argue all you want that Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Tom Brady, but Brady supporters will bring up the 7 rings at this point.
7.
Yeah.
I hate that argument.
I don't bring up rings as much. It's hard to win in baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like it's probably not a good argument in any sport, but I feel like baseball is probably the worst one for like using ring because it's pretty much an individual sport at a certain point.
Mike Trout's been to the playoffs once.
Right. Yeah.
He has 14
exactly.
at bats, and I'm pretty sure he's a generational talent.
I think that's a safe bet. Yeah.
The Angels have 2 generational talents, and I don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year.
It's so unfortunate.
I'm also sure Kike Hernandez has more career playoff home runs than Mike Trout. No offense to Kike. I love Kike. I don't know how he's doing in Boston, but
Joe Blanton and Mike Trout are tied for postseason home runs. Think about that for a second.
That's a good one. I like that. Do you go by Joe or Joseph?
I do either.
Alrighty. Right. So, where are you in the Los Angeles area? Are you?
Yeah, I'm in the LA area.
Nice. Do you go to a lot of games?
Yeah, I've been to 2 already this year. I think I'm gonna hit 200 this year.
200 games?
200 games.
Damn, good for you. What are you at right now? Keeping a running total?
I think I'm at 194 to 196, somewhere in that range.
Hey, you're on pace to get there then, I think. Good for you. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I haven't been to nearly that many games, so.
Yeah, well, I think I'm in the mid-20s somewhere, I think, for me.
Because I realize we're very fortunate because we have the season tickets. So I don't think I would have been to the World Series twice if it wasn't for that.
Oh, did you get to the World Series too?
Yeah, I went to Game 1 in 2017, which I will contend is the best pitch game I've ever seen by Clayton Kershaw.
Nice.
And I was at Game 5 in 2018.
Cool. That's awesome. Wait, was that the...
That was when Boston clinched.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay. That's tough. That's pretty cool, though. Good for you.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome.
I am super lucky, and I wrote about my experience, like coming to a game while the pandemic was still happening. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I really just miss it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like the thing of summer is you go once during the summer, have a hot dog, have a beer, and just like take it all in.
Yeah, it's a good place to be.
Yeah, I love doing that at Coors Field. You know, you just go in there. It's a beautiful stadium.
I think I'm going
Tickets
to
are
Petco
cheap
in July. Since everything's
Bauer's
open back
looking a little wild here.
$200 a ticket.
I don't know what's going on with Bauer tonight. His control is just not there.
Yeah, because I don't want to say anything 10 pitches in, but the 2 balls in play have been warning a home run or one at the track. He just looks off.
I mean, I have the StatCast pulled up, and the expected batting average for the Astros right now is 755.
That's not what you want to see. Only 2 batted balls, though. We'll give them some time to straighten.
I mean, yeah, it'll even out, but doesn't help when Altuve just cranks one to left field, and then Diaz flies out at the track, and then allowed 2 walks. Not a great start.
Yeah. But I know the Diaz one was 99.6, but both were 100 miles an hour off the bat.
It's not the ideal start here.
Oh. Come on, Bauer.
It's Kershaw that Barnes is basically his personal catcher, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Bueller.
All right.
At least down the stretch last year.
Yeah, I was going to say, Barnes is doing about, I want to say, 70-80% of Bueller's starts.
Okay.
Because Barnes is just can call a fantastic game.
Yeah. Yeah, Kershaw's pretty much exclusive to him, it seems like. Or,
Yeah, he doesn't.
He's
I don't
always
think I've watched a game recently where Barnes hasn't caught it for Kershaw.
I think Will Smith caught 1 in 2020, and the rest have been Barnes.
Oh, wow.
That sounds right.
Sounds about right, yeah.
I mean, Barnesy, he's just great behind the plate. At the plate, offense isn't as great, but...
Yeah. But I'll be thankful for him, man. He saved us in Game 6.
Yes, he did.
So I think Barnes is what you want ideally in a backup catcher.
Yeah,
just
definitely.
great defensively, calls a good game.
He can get a timely hit once in a while.
Yeah.
Little did any of us know that hit would result in Blake Snell not even being a Ray anymore. That would be the last pitch he threw as a Ray, but not typically a good sign when the opposing dugout is cheering.
Yes.
When someone's getting pulled out.
But I can say this now knowing we win the game, but I don't think pulling Snell was the wrong move per se.
It was
bringing
putting in
Anderson that was the mistake.
Yeah, because that was the type of pitcher that Betts had dominated all year.
And we just hit him well that entire series.
Yeah.
And he struggled back in the ALCS too.
It wasn't like he was having a strong postseason. It's just his role for that Rays team the entire year was, I'm the first one out of the pen. So.
Yeah. Because in 2017, like basically the same thing happened with Verlander in Game 6. Cruising through 6, gives up a single to Barnes. Pitcher sacrifices him over. Then Taylor doubles him home. Walk, sac fly from Seager. Game's tied. Dodgers pull ahead. Verlander was pitching the whole time. You never know, like, if they're seeing him well or is it an aberration. That's why bullpen management is so hard.
It really is. You're under such a microscope in the World Series because everyone's watching. And if you make one wrong move, everyone's going to know.
The president will know. Like, that's the only thing that made that Game 4 loss against Boston worse. is seeing Trump tweet about it, like, they should have kept Rich Hill in the game. I'm like, oh, man. He's right.
That was the difference between 17, 18, and then 20. Roberts went with his gut more than the numbers because game 2 against 17, he pulled Rich Hill after 4.
Yeah.
Because it would have been his 3rd time facing the order.
Another walk there. He's up to 31.
Oh my God, Bauer.
Why? Why are you having your worst start of the season now?
He said he had something special for Houston. I didn't realize there was going to be 3 walks in the first.
And a home run.
And the home run. Oh, man.
Good thing Kershaw went deep last night.
Yeah, because basically all the big arms are still left.
Yeah. I mean, something tells me Phil Bickford's not going to be pitching tonight.
Yeah.
Unless it's a blowout. Joe Kelly only threw 4 pitches last night. So, first 30 pitch innings since 2017.
Wow.
Yikes.
Check in on Twitter, see what they're saying. Everyone's saying he's just too pumped because it's the Astros right now.
Maybe.
Could be part of it.
Just do you, man.
His control has just not been good today.
Sets up inside, misses over the middle of the plate. But if he gets out of this just giving up the home run, I think that's kind of the thing that'll reset him and be like, okay, let's just go out here and do your thing.
For sure.
Yeah, if you can get out of it with minimal damage, that's what you're looking for.
Plus, he can... It's not like pitch counts like bother him as much because his last start, he threw 126 pitches. He's typically gone for 100.
Did he throw 126 his last start?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because basically Robert said, because we had used the bullpen so much that week, he's like, just go as long as you can, man.
Yeah.
Because he says he can go on 3 days rest.
Yeah, he's claimed that he's like wants to do that. Like he wants to be somebody that pitches that often. But
I mean, they still haven't replaced Dustin May fully, so
right.
The minute Gonsolin's off the IL, I think he's just going to slide into that 5th starter role.
Yeah. Oh.
There we go.
Payoff pitch.
Got him.
I'm on. Well. Okay.
Yeah, he got out of it not without too much trouble. He settles in it all.
All right.
Let's do something on offense just to give him some time to breathe and calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you mentioned Gonsolin, that's quite the luxury you Dodgers fans have. That like, obviously May got hurt, but like going into the year, you had like 8 legitimate good starters.
Yeah. I'm not complaining. It's just they haven't replaced May yet.
Right. Yeah.
Well, Well, Robert said Josiah Gray would be up if he was healthy right now. Which, one of the better pitching prospects in the minors just happens to be sitting there too.
Also came over in the Puig trade. Andrew Friedman, he's playing chess.
He always is.
But
well, it's crazy that the 4 people running the teams in the championship series last year were either Friedman or had worked under Friedman.
Right. Yeah.
That just goes to show like how great he is at building teams.
Yeah, he's got a big tree of guys working now all over the league.
What do you think of the Yankees so far, Sam?
I think they look fine. I had mentioned it in an earlier stream, but like in that pretty rough stretch they were having like early in the season, I usually don't buy into this type of thing, but like they just looked so like just lifeless. But I think they look much better now. The pitching has been quite good recently, which is good to see.
If you're a Yankees fan, that's what you're wanting. You have an ace in Garrett Cole,
right?
So as long as no one else screws things up, essentially, I think they could go to the
having that
World
one
Series.
big guy at the top is definitely a help, though.
That's a World Series caliber team.
Yeah. This has to be the year, right? The Yankees got to make the World Series, or serious changes have to come in.
You would think. We'll see, though.
I mean, they've had injuries a lot.
Yeah.
And they've just been unlucky, too, I think. Game 5 last year, the only run scored was off of Aroldis Chapman. Like, how often does that happen in a Yankees game?
Right.
How often are they held to no runs?
Yeah.
Even though Stanton was just mashing that postseason, I thought they could have been in the World Series last year.
That should have been the Dodgers-Yankees World Series we've been promised for. This is the 4th year now.
I mean, I said Dodgers-Yankees this year.
I have Dodgers-Blue Jays this year, believe it or not.
Interesting.
Yeah, I have Dodgers-Yankees just because I don't think there's any American League team that comes close. I mean, maybe the White Sox, but...
Well, the way La Russa has burned every bridge in that clubhouse, I don't know if you can follow him anymore.
They're winning in spite of him, and that's not good 50 games into the year.
Scared to think what that team's going to be like when Eloy comes back.
Or Robert, because he's been out for a while. My parents are White Sox fans, so I've been watching a lot of games with them. So
I've watched a lot of White Sox this.
Yeah, my family's from the Chicago area, south side of Chicago, so they love the White Sox, and I do too. I just love the Dodgers as well.
Yeah, because your story almost is similar to like how I chose my basketball team. Is I love Tim Duncan, so I became a Spurs fan because of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's an age where there's so much social media and national access to everything that you can watch any player on national TV and just fall in love. So
yeah. Because I just happen to be lucky enough to where I can watch the Dodgers every night, and if they're not on, hey, let's go watch Ohtani and Trout. They're on local TV too. Right. But even then, I still want to see players like Lindor every night, Harper every night. There's just so much great talent out there. It's kind of paralyzing to make your decision who you're going to watch on your team's off day.
Yeah, I typically go with the White Sox when Dodgers have an off day, just because I can watch it with my family and they're so good. The Yankees are another interesting team to watch, just in my opinion, just because they can just hit home runs.
Yeah. A Yankees White Sox LCS would be fun.
That's what I think will happen. And then Tony La Russa will have terrible bullpen management and cost the Sox a series. I believe we already saw that happen the last weekend. Just not good. The AL East is a crazy division. I think three teams are a game out of first place right now, and the Blue Jays are not too far behind, and they haven't had George Springer most of the year.
Yeah. That, I feel like I've been saying this a lot, but that's going to be a scary offense too.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the way Junior's been crushing the ball.
Best hitter in baseball.
Hey, let him throw 100 miles an hour, and then we'll have this debate.
Right.
Ohtani's the most talented player.
Yeah.
He's the sixth tool player.
And you don't get to see that sixth tool very often.
Happens once a century, it seems. The Bay being the last guy to pitch well and hit well is just mind-boggling.
Yeah, so that's definitely on my bucket list too. Is I have to get. It's hard with my work schedule, but I have to get out to Angel Stadium to see Ohtani pitch.
Oh yeah, definitely. How far? So if are you are you relatively close to like the Dodger Stadium or?
I'm like right in the middle of Dodger Stadium and Angel Stadium. I think it'll take me 25 minutes to get to Anaheim, and then depending on the traffic, 30, 45 minutes to get to Los Angeles.
Okay. Have you gotten down to any San Diego games?
I went to San Diego as a kid, but I haven't gone and seen the new look Padres yet.
Okay.
Going in July, hopefully.
Nice.
Because I have a friend who lives down there, so she wants to go. So I'm like, yeah, let's go. Bring your family.
It's got to be a fun one they'd be a fun team to see.
Especially because every game has been great between those two teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was nice early in the year. Those games really delivered. They were awesome.
I think 12-inning game, even though it looked like a blowout, I think it showed how good these two teams are.
Yeah, because usually regular season baseball is kind of something I have on in the background if I'm doing work or something, and I'll intently watch 3 or 4 innings. You know what I mean? But I was glued to the TV for that last 3-4 inning stretch there. I was tensed up in extras every time we had to hold it together.
Yeah, those were fun though. Those were a good time. Looking forward to more. So the game you might go to in July, that's a Dodgers game?
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, it's really beautiful down there at Petco, but I have to go see my Dodgers.
Of course. How could you not?
Especially if I'm paying what I think I'm going to be paying.
Right.
To go down there. Because I look to go this coming series, and it's $265 at the cheapest down there.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Like the tickets for the game are $265. That's as low as it is.
I'll double check right now, but Last I checked, it was $265.
I believe tickets to see the Dodgers at Coors this July are expensive for like Coors standards because normally you can get 2 tickets for like $15 total. Or not total, $15 each.
Okay.
Even when the Rockies are good,
Yeah.
tickets are cheap, which is really nice.
$193 for the first game is the cheapest I have. But it'll
$193.
worth every penny.
I mean, every game has been great. So
I'm just bummed that it's not going to be the NLCS this year. We're only going to get 5 games of it at the most in the playoffs.
yeah, but that's going to be a good series. I'm just not counting my chickens before they hatch.
Yeah.
I'm not writing anything in permanent ink for the playoffs. It's a long season. I mean, we saw 2 years ago, Nationals start out the gate terribly and end up winning the World Series.
It's a marathon, not a sprint, but just the way the two teams are constructed, there's no way I can see the Dodgers being anything but the one out here in the National League.
Yeah, I don't think there's a team in the Central good enough to be... I don't think the Cardinals would do much damage in the playoffs. I want to be high on the Mets, but
No.
there's just something off this year. Although there's been
Everybody's
something
hurt.
off with Lindor.
It just feels weird to say this about the Brewers, but they need hitting.
Oh, I mean, their lineup was the biggest problem. Their pitching is, their pitching is awesome for the most part, at least the top end of it. But yeah, the lineup is pretty rough.
You have Yelich back. That'll help.
Won't hurt.
Maybe Keston Hira figured something out down there.
Yeah.
Hira's a weird guy because I heard the Brewers drafted him as a contact first type hitter.
Yeah.
Back in like 2017 or whenever they drafted him. And then somehow in his development, he decided to become a power hitter instead and like is a completely different player from what the Brewers drafted.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still young enough where he can turn around, but he sells for power and he's a good, I think he could be a great contact hitter for them.
Yeah. Because that's what the Dodgers do with their player development is Seager, Bellinger, they were contact guys coming out in the draft. And then they develop the power later on. I don't know why Hira just doesn't take that approach.
I mean, if you saw the more successful teams the last few years, they're leading the league in home runs. The Yankees hit 300, I think, 2 years ago. They have a lot of guys who can just hit a home run. Luke Voigt, I think, led the majors last year in home runs.
Twins set the all-time record the year before that.
Yeah. It's easier, I think, for players to justify selling for power. It's why no one cares as much about strikeouts because you're trying to hit the ball over the fence.
Well, because I was saying this back after the Turnbull no-hitter, and like why there are so many no-hitters and why everyone's hitting for power is pitching has been so developed as a science that it's impossible to hit now. You get one shot per game, and I'm not going to waste it on a single.
Right.
I'm going for it.
All right. Bauer looked a little better there. He seems to have
1, 2, 3 inning. That's
collected himself a bit.
That's the best you could hope for. Although I don't like the fact that he's already at 48 pitches, but he can also throw 150.
Yeah.
It feels like. Rockies tickets against Dodgers. The lowest ones are 26.
Oh,
It's not too bad. But I can't go to the they play here in September during the week. I'll go all three of those games below $20, but I'm in school. So
you can squeeze a day though.
Not when your school is in Indiana.
Oh, that's right. There's no more online.
That is a problem. Are you in college?
Yeah, I'll be a junior at Purdue University in the fall.
Nice.
So,
what's your major?
Data science.
I think everyone's major here is data science at this point.
Yeah.
It's becoming more popular. It's the way the world's going. So,
yeah,
might as well profit off of that.
Yeah, because I'm starting my data science degree in the fall too.
Where are you at?
Arizona State.
Freshman?
Junior from JUCO.
Okay.
And so I don't have that many classes to take. Because what kind of got me into it is, ask my family, I'm the worst to watch sports with. Because I'm always bringing up the numbers and this and this. Like, we got a family member who plays basketball. My dad's like, they're so much better defensively with him in the game. I'm like, no, they're actually not. His defensive rating is actually worse than the guy they replace him with.
My parents love the fact, just love it, because they haven't been following the White Sox as much. It's kind of hard to watch them when you're in Colorado. Like, we only got MLB TV like just this year.
Yeah.
But I explain everything for them. I mean, they were athletes and they understand. They played baseball in high school and softball, so it's not like I do too much. But it's like, oh, this is a good hitter, so.
Yeah.
It's more talking with them than talking at them with the numbers. So
yeah, because I really use it to make a point. You know what I mean? Where everyone just sees the surface level stuff and kind of freaks out. I'm like, no, if you kind of take a look under the hood, everything's fine. It's just weird things are going on the field.
Yeah.
Because I remember in 2020, I was the only person that's like, no, Jason's still good, guys. It's just a
good way to
weird
use that
season.
stuff. Garcia's looking pretty dirty.
He's having a good game so far. Granted, it's only the 7th batter he's faced, but
hey, that's a good sign, though.
Yeah. Granted, I haven't watched a lot of Astros, but just looking at him doing a little work for this, he's has good numbers. You know what I mean? I didn't watch any games.
Yeah, the basic numbers seemed good. I'm just going to look up some of the underlying metrics. It feels like I can't do a single one of these broadcasts without looking at multiple players' underlying numbers.
That's what we're all about here, though.
Yeah. Let's see. There we go. Fangraphs finally loaded. Has a good ERA. The FIP is a little high, but strikes out 10 per 9 innings. Not too bad.
Yeah.
good starter, it seems. Like, he's not going to be the reason you win a World Series, but
He's
looks
a good
like he
body.
can eat innings. So
I'm curious, what do you guys think of the whole Pujols deal?
Honestly, like I was kind of a little bit, when I first heard it, but then like thinking about it more, I'm like, this is kind of the best thing for Albert because the Angels said he didn't want a bench role. He was going to take a bench role before the Seager injury, and now he's playing in Los Angeles on Artie Moreno's dime. I love everything about it now.
Dodgers don't have to pay. They're only paying him the minimum, so I'm perfectly cool with him on the bench. They haven't lost a game since Pujols has joined the team officially, so there's a fun stat.
Yeah, I was there last Tuesday. Yeah, last Tuesday, and I was already seeing people in Pujols jerseys at the stadium.
Yeah, I assume those would probably sell pretty quick.
I mean, he's just one of the greatest right-handed hitters of all time.
Yeah.
And why not just play for LA when I mean, we've seen some late career revitalizations, it seems, I guess would be the right term. David Freese, Chase Utley, those two were, I don't want to say like below average by any means, but they were good with the Dodgers.
So I think the pressure's off you to not be that everyday guy. You just kind of go and do your thing once a game, fill in occasionally.
Right.
And I think that's kind of the perfect role for these veterans. Is we give them a soft landing spot where all the pressure's off of them.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think it's also nice because they've had so much depth. Like, Sheldon Noisy is batting now. They've had DJ Peters take a decent number of at-bats. Same with Luke Raley. You have these really young guys. And, I'll throw Gavin Lux in there, too, because I don't think he's a rookie anymore, but just because it expired last year or something. But he's still a really young player. And having a guy like Albert Pujols around, not going to hurt their development.
Yeah, because it gives them more time to learn. Because since him and Tsutsugo are taking up roster spots on the 26-man, you have more time in the minors to kind of figure things out.
Yeah. I liked the Pujols move in conjunction with the Tsutsugo move. Yeah. So it just seems like hitters tend to do well with LA's coaching. Look at Chris Taylor. Look at Max Muncy.
Justin Turner.
Fringe guys who have become all-stars. And now World Series champions. All three of them are champions.
Yeah, that's why I'm curious to see, like, Steve Cohen wants to build the Dodgers out there in New York. So I wonder if he's going to take lessons in the little stuff the Dodgers do to make the team great.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see.
Because with the exception of Mookie Betts and Trevor Bauer, all of our superstars have been developed and blossomed as Dodgers.
I'm still a believer in Gavin Lux. So
I think the breakout's happening and no one's noticed.
I've noticed.
Yeah.
I think since May 1st, let's look it up. Because he had a slow start to the year, and He's one of those players where I think people expect him to be good immediately, and then when he wasn't, it's like Vladdy.
Yeah.
People expected him to be this great player immediately, and that's just not how things work in the majors. You got to learn how to hit major league velocity. And
look at everyone who had like those on fire starts, like Aquino. He's not doing anything anymore. I remember when Puig came up for the first time and was dominating, not in the league anymore.
I miss Puig.
Start off hard. Yeah, everybody. But you start off hot, and all of a sudden they figure you out. Like I think the best example of this is Jeff Francoeur. He started off hot, they figured him out, and he can never make the adjustment.
Yeah. I'm on the fan.
So I'd rather you kind of struggle at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm fine with struggling early. Gavin Lux is 23. It's not like he's this older, young player. He was the number 2 prospect in baseball last year. Or going into last year. And I think if there was a minor league season where he could have started off there, he would have been just fine last year. It's just the lack of a minor league season, I think, hurt a lot of player development.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it, too, is kind of that pressure, especially what happened in the division series in 2019 is Andrew Friedman was insistent, we will not be giving up Gavin Lux for Vasquez.
Yeah.
And to see the Dodgers blow it because we didn't have that high-end bullpen arm, that's a lot of pressure. I was the guy they kept because they kept, instead of getting that high-end bullpen arm they needed, I have to perform well. And I think that weighs a lot on a young player.
Yeah, or, I would think maybe it helps his psyche in the offseason, like Friedman being so adamant that we're not going to include him in the Mookie Betts trade.
Yeah.
Let's see. Since May 1st, Gavin Lux is slashing 321, 376, 487. So, not too bad.
Yeah, because it's not a coincidence that when he started getting hot, the team started getting hot. Because when I was looking at the team's bad stretch, he was just hitting abysmal, sub 250, 49 WRC plus. And he starts to turn it around, and all of a sudden everyone else on the team's turning it around. The team's playing better.
Yeah, for sure. And that is a broken bat infield single by Mookie Betts.
Yeah, as soon as we said something about Garcia, he's just falling apart in the seat.
It was part of the plan.
A loose term. He's allowed. Let's see. Still struck out Beatty to start the inning, and then infield single. And then another single for Satsugo.
And ball 1 to Munson. But he walks against everybody, so that's no indictment on him.
Muncy, yeah, he just has elite plate discipline. He's a tough out.
Yeah, is he still way up on top of the
I believe he
last
is.
time
Just
the walk rate, he was like way above everybody else.
I believe he is.
Yeah, he's at 21.6. Next closest is 18.3.
Is that Grandal? That is ridiculous.
18.3 is Gallo.
Gallo.
Gallo. I would not have expected that.
Yeah, he's been walking a ton this year.
That's all he does is walk, strike out, and homer.
3 true
And
outcomes.
if you're walking homer a lot, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the name of the game at this point is 3 true outcomes.
Tommy Pham, 4th in walk rate. Interesting.
I'm looking at the StatCast metrics. Mookie Betts, 53.9 exit velocity, negative 53 launch angle, and they're counting it as an error. So
An error on Garcia, probably.
Yeah. Gotta love that 180 expected batting average.
Absolute rocket.
I care about him getting on base more than anything else. So I'll take it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Muncie rakes.
Darn it, I'm behind.
Good stuff, I promise.
I think we got it at the same time, too.
Yeah, it seemed like.
I blame ESPN.
Beat the shift.
It's good stuff from Muncie.
Yeah.
I have his percentile rankings. Literally 100th percentile in walk rate, 91st in barrel percentage. Outs above average, he's 91st, which I did not expect.
Yeah, I don't think he's really been a bad defender. Bad. I don't know if he's.
I mean, he plays first base, so
Right.
I just don't.
Well, even at second, he's still been a good defender.
He's a good infielder.
Yeah.
It's just first base is his primary position.
Yeah.
And for better or for worse, people kind of just ignore you if you play first base. Like they ignore your defensive statistics. It's just you're gonna hit a lot of baseballs if you're a first baseman. We don't care if you're a great defender. Just ask Keith Hernandez.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff about that going around with Evan White on the Mariners, and it's a good question to ask because obviously when you're figuring out WAR, like you're automatically hurt just for playing first base, which I think makes some amount of sense. But like how valuable? So like Olsen is a really good defender, or at least he has been in the past, and like Evan White, like how much value is there in being like a really good defensive first baseman? And I'd be curious because obviously it's not as valuable as having a good defensive shortstop or like a center fielder or something. But
yeah, because I think about it as you know how third basemen, right-handed hitters just smoke a ground ball and they make that amazing diving play. It's because we don't have that many lefties, so you don't really like put as much value there when a first baseman does it. Just because it doesn't happen that often.
I mean, they call third base a corner.
for a good defensive first baseman, but it's not incredibly high. But there's great value there. Ooh, it's close.
Looked like Moogie tried to steal third there.
Got caught.
Yeah. My phone is blowing up because I thought it would be a good idea to get people to watch it, so now
There you go.
it's blowing up.
I was gonna say,
Let's see. Two of my uncles. Can your uncles get a shout out? Yes, you can. I'd like to shout out both Dan and Jim Kelly.
Now my phone's gonna blow up because I got a bunch of family watching too.
Yeah, they asked for a shout out, so I'll give them a shout out.
You're a man of the people. You have to respect that.
Yeah. Also asking who was the spitter because of when Keith Hernandez was on Seinfeld. I'm pretty sure the second spitter hasn't been caught.
There had to be another spitter.
That was one of my all-time favorite Seinfeld episodes. Funny show.
I was looking at it a couple of months ago. I'm like, because I remember the Mets AA affiliate did a Seinfeld night, and they gave away the Keith Hernandez bobblehead. Oh, that's thing
awesome.
Is so expensive. That's $200+ right there.
Oh yeah. Anyone who watched Seinfeld in the 90s, which is a lot of people, would love that event. So
yeah, I was gonna go to Seinfeld night in 2019 when they were against the Mets, but I was working that night, so I couldn't go. Because they were doing a buy a special ticket plan and you get a free commemorative Seinfeld baseball.
Nice. At Dodger Stadium.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to come out to New York at some point, but I don't know if I could afford a flight.
My family, we're doing an East Coast road trip this summer, and almost every team is on the road.
What's the road trip?
DC, just most of the Eastern Seaboard. So I think DC, drive up to Philly, spend some time in South Jersey because my extended family has a place there. So spend some time there, go to New York, go to Boston, the big cities out there. But they were looking it up because I want to see all 30 ballparks, or not all, all 30 ballparks.
Yeah.
Only the Nationals are at home while we're touring. But they play the Dodgers, so.
Oh, they play the Dodgers. I was going to say, well, at least you get to see Juan Soto, but you get to see the Dodgers now, too.
I get to see the Dodgers and Juan Soto.
More could you ask for it?
Yeah. So, I'll see the stadiums. It's just there won't be games.
That's pretty cool.
I'm only at 3 ballparks right now. Angel Stadium, Dodger Stadium, and Petco.
Yeah.
So have you been to New York City before, Jimmy?
I've not. The only ballparks I've been to are Comiskey, Guaranteed Rate, whatever you want to call it, and then Coors Field. So,
Gotcha.
Nats Park will be the third, probably.
There you go.
I know both New York parks are very high up there on the list for me.
Yeah, they're both pretty nice. I've been to Yankee Stadium a bunch, but Citi Field's pretty cool too.
So, what do you think of the Mets? Like, as a Yankees fan, like, do you hate the Mets? Do you tolerate the Mets?
I don't really like. I don't really care. Like, rivalries are cool, but I don't really like. I don't dislike any teams really. Necessarily. Like, I don't hate the Mets or the Red Sox or whatever. So I'm pretty impartial to it.
Okay.
I would say.
Now, is that the general sentiment again, like in the entire Yankee fan base, or?
Oh, that's just me. I'm like, I don't know. I'm pretty like neutral. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure the best way to describe it, but like, I kind of like every team. Like, I enjoy.
You're a Yankees fan first, and then baseball second.
Right.
You appreciate what's going on the other teams and their players.
Of course. Good way to put it.
Yeah, because there's a lot of talk out here, like, is Dodgers-Angels a rivalry? And I'm kind of indifferent towards the Angels as a rival.
Yeah. Especially because they just don't play it all that often, too. So there's not, like, a lot to build on.
History.
Right.
Like there is with the Giants, or a developing rivalry with the Padres, you know what I mean? Right. Where we have these intense games. They're just kind of there.
Yeah.
They're a zip code over, or they're a county over.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would be amazing if we had a three-way World Series. Like the Subway Series in 2000. But that's not going to happen.
It's not looking great so far.
We'll be lucky if Mike Trout gets to the playoffs anytime soon.
I tweet this a lot, but I'm like, free Mike Trout. Like, he's such a carefree guy. Like, I don't think it bothers... I mean, of course it bothers him, but he's not going to do anything about it. He's not going to go out like Julio Jones on Undisputed.
There's a whole controversy there now because he didn't know he was live, so... Like, something about... I didn't read it fully, but...
Consent of recording.
Yeah.
Because I think they film... Do they film Undisputed in California?
I have no idea. I don't watch Undisputed. So
I don't either, but I know, like, out here, there's a law that you can't record a party without their consent.
I think that might be it then. It was something like that, but if Julio Jones doesn't know he's being recorded and on live TV,
oof. Nice play.
Not great.
Well, that's the... Oh, nice play. But
darn
that's
ESPN
the thing now
broadcast.
About, like, the media nowadays is you have to do the thing that requires the most clicks.
Right.
Yeah, it's all about getting people to view it, not good content.
That's why they were building up that Aaron Rodgers interview so much on Monday, like, oh, Rodgers is going to tell all about his situation, and it was nothing.
The other part of it, great play. I'm behind.
That was me on the Mariners broadcast a couple weeks ago, so I'm very empathetic.
That's what I get for choosing to watch ESPN's broadcast instead of Sportsnet LA.
I assume you're like streaming it, or you're watching it like on cable?
Streaming, so. You're always a little behind when you're streaming, but
yeah. Well, hopefully you can tell by our tone if something good or bad happened.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can put it together.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
A-Rod's not on the broadcast tonight, is he?
I mean, I have it muted. I would have had it muted either way. So
I'm just concerned if either of these teams jumps out to an odd number lead. You want even number leads.
Yeah, it's gonna be a problem if they get it odd number. They're in trouble big time.
The one that always got me was the Red Sox Dodgers Sunday Night Baseball that went into the 13th, I think. And I forget if it was either Jessica Mendoza or A-Rod that's like, yeah, I bet you some of these Red Sox fans were cheering when the Dodgers scored because they want to go home. They weren't.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing that.
This is Boston.
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely. I mean, I'll say, I'm not afraid to say, oh, I want this game to end. Doesn't mean I'm gonna I don't want my team to lose. It's just like, all right, it's a cost of doing business. I wanted this game to end. I'm getting what I want.
Yeah, like if Steve Pierce hit the home run in the 18th instead of Muncy, I definitely would not have been cheering during that World Series game.
Yeah, what makes me mad is that I had a meeting that was a Friday night. I had a meeting that Saturday morning, so I think I turned it off after the 13th inning because I'm like, I need to go to bed because this is an early meeting. I had to drive across town. So, and then everyone's asking me the next day, like, oh, did you see it? I'm like, no, I had to go to sleep.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, I think that game went out to 1 a.m. here, and I was opening the next day. So
Nice.
For those opening shifts, I had to get in about 7:30 to take care of everything before we opened up at 8.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I've invested
over on the
so
East Coast.
much of
I
my
remember
time into this. I have to finish it. I can get Starbucks there.
Yeah, I was in my college dorm lounge, and so the game. You said it was about 1 there, so it was 4:00 here. I remember being very very tired when that game ended.
I think the best tweet. I think that year's best tweet was someone said, "Imagine people on the East Coast watching the game, getting ready to go to the club. Went to the club, came back, and finished the game."
Yeah, still on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a popular question, out here after the game, was, "What inning did you dip out?"
Yeah, right.
13th.
I was gonna say my friend dipped out at the 13th. My parents left after the 11th, and then one of my coworkers left after the 16th.
It's a long baseball game.
It was longer than an entire World Series I saw. And on Starkville, Jason Stark, he was saying after that game ended, there was a raccoon in the press box while he was writing his wild and weird column. Because it's not often you get an 18-inning World Series game.
Yeah.
It's not.
I do not want another 18-inning World Series game.
I feel like a fake fan now for not staying up, but at the same time, I had to.
Yeah.
Plus, I didn't have my license yet, so my parents were the ones who had to take me and, drive to the others. I live on the northeast. I live in the northeast suburbs, and this was northwest.
Ooh.
Suburbs.
Fun.
So.
Yeah, see, at least with me, I was the guy in charge, so I didn't have to do anything. I told everyone else to do everything for me.
There you go.
So I just kind of chilled my coffee for about an hour until I woke up. And then I actually got some work done.
Yeah, I could not do that. I just have blocked out most of that World Series. It was uneventful.
Was that the worst World Series of the decade?
2012 was pretty bad, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was just not even competitive. Like the Dodgers, they were competitive.
Yeah.
You know,
like game one
the
was
Tigers,
close.
It was just. I mean, you have the 18-inning game, obviously.
Yeah.
Game 2 was close for a while. I mean, the Dodgers were winning in it. Like the games were close until the later innings.
Yeah.
I think it's easy for people to forget that.
Well, if you block it out.
I mean, I've blocked out almost all of Game 4. I just remember like the box score.
Yeah. I think that's got to be like in the top 5 most painful losses I've ever experienced as a sports fan.
Game 4, yeah.
Yeah.
For me, Game 7, 2017. Worst one.
I was trying to get tickets to Game 7 and I couldn't, so I'm kind of fortunate.
Yeah.
But for me personally, Game 6, 2013 NBA Finals, Spurs Heat. The Ray Allen 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be the worst one I've ever dealt with.
Yeah. Worst one for me is Game 7.
Baseball, I would say Game 5 against the Nationals.
That one was
just
tough.
because of all like the pent-up frustration you've had with Roberts and Kershaw to that point, and how well Buehler pitched. And we gave Kelly all that money to, not do what he did.
I was pissed that Kenley wasn't pitching. It was like he was pitching to get, like, he was going to get the save rather than he's our best reliever that's available. Let's put him in.
Yeah, he Buck Showaltered the game.
Yeah. What about you, Sam? What's the worst loss?
The worst loss. The Altuve home run was pretty tough. Because like how I said that I'm pretty like neutral. Like I'm not much of like one to cheer very much, or and but so when LeMahieu tied the game with the home run off Osuna, if you remember that, that was pretty exciting. I was pretty pumped about that, and then very quickly it all went down the drain. I wasn't like too upset about it, but it was from being very excited to the game being over.
Yeah, because that LeMahieu at bat was one of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and he crushed that home run too. I think it went opposite field, and
yeah,
he didn't do that often at Coors Field. Like he was a contact first guy. Imagine picking Daniel Murphy over DJ LeMahieu to play second base.
Tough luck.
It's not even like the Yankees outpriced the Rockies. I think they had the same contract, like 2 years, $24 million.
Yeah, that was quite the steal on the Yankees' part there.
Yeah, that's what their lineup needed, was a good contact hitter. So
I don't think like everyone was kind of afraid of LeMahieu because of Coors, but the way he hit, you know what I mean? He wasn't one of these abnormal power guys. He just put the ball in play so much that's got to play anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's been better than he ever was in Colorado. So
Arenado's looked great outside of Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate using the home road splits like when looking at Rockies players, just because there's such an acclimation you have to make to the altitude.
Right.
That I just think it's unfair to say like, oh, he didn't hit well in Los Angeles compared to Colorado. Well, you're playing most of your games at high altitude.
Yeah.
And it's taxing to travel to and from high altitude like that, and it just gets you just kind of see that in the road games more often because you're not playing 81 games at Dodger Stadium or Oracle or Petco or Chase for the Rockies. So your body's not going to be able to handle that as well as Coors.
And then too, like in other sports, baseball or not baseball, football and basketball, some players can't even play when they go to Denver because it's just too hard at the altitude.
Altitude sickness is real. The Broncos have that painted outside of the visitors' locker room at their stadium. Good way to psych people out, I guess.
Yeah. I definitely think what you said is fair, though. I think we're sometimes a bit too harsh on Rockies hitters, probably.
Yeah. Because I forget who said it, but they're like, the way LeMahieu and Arenado have hit after leaving Coors makes you think about the park factors we use when adjusting for Coors.
Right. Yeah.
It's not a healthy place to play.
Yeah.
It
has some effect on injuries too, right? I'm pretty sure.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
I don't think I'm
pretty sure it's just generally not as good for you to,
I think it's just more how you are when you're kind of running around out there, just because there's so little oxygen up there that you really have to be well conditioned to play up there.
You do. It's why Olympic athletes train in Colorado Springs.
You probably have an even higher bar to clear when you're out there.
Yeah. Or marathon runners, I think they train out in Colorado because it helps your endurance. So.
Yeah, in the long jump, I think they disallow certain jumps from being world records at altitude.
I couldn't tell you.
Interesting.
I remember seeing that somewhere.
I mean, I think the media plays up Coors Field to be this hitter's paradise, which it can be, but it's not like every ball that's hit is a double or anything.
Yeah. German Marquez pitches well out there.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, too, the Rockies historically have not had pitching at all.
It's hard to
see,
get people to play out
there. Visitors have lopsided numbers out there in Colorado. Do you think it's the ballpark or the lack of pitching?
Yeah. I mean, German Marquez, John Gray, they're probably two of the best pitchers the Rockies have ever had. I think it's them, Ubaldo Jimenez, and 2018 Kyle Freeland.
Yeah.
But it's hard because the breaking balls just don't break as well. So you have to use more fastballs.
Well, then you can't even use your fastball if it's a high spin rate one because of the Coriolis effect.
Yeah. I think you can build a winner there, but it's a riddle no one's cracked yet.
Yeah.
And Bridich kind of didn't do anything.
Yeah, he does his best.
Because I've always said it's kind of hard to find pitchers who want to go to Coors because it's so stigmatized. But hitters love going to Coors because their numbers go up and they get bigger contracts when they leave. So why not just bring in the best offense imaginable and just say, F it, we'll outscore everyone.
Right. I've always wanted that. I've always sort of been a semi-Rockies fan, and I've always wanted them to just sign as many just home run hitters as humanly possible and just see what happens. It might not be good, but I want to see it.
I hope Joey Gallo gets to participate in this year's home run derby out there.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens to those poor baseballs.
I mean, home run derby tickets are expensive. They're like over $350 right now. The last time I checked. So I'm kind of glad I volunteered. Hopefully I can be out, like watch it, because I hope they just don't put the balls in the humidor, like
full 90s.
just get a bunch of baseballs and let it rip.
Now, Jimmy, I'm sensing a controversy here. You said you went to Purdue, correct?
Yep.
And I see a Notre Dame flag back there. That's
Oh yeah.
oh boy.
My family, I have a lot of family members who went to Notre Dame.
Okay, makes sense.
So
If you want some controversy, I'm going to Arizona State, but I will still be rooting for the Oregon State Beavers.
There you go.
not UCLA or USC.
Yeah.
'Cause I have family that plays basketball at Oregon State, so
Nice.
we're a fan because he's on the team.
I mean, they had a great run to the Elite Eight.
They did, yeah.
That was incredible. It was like so popular because the day of the Elite Eight, I went to go get my first dose of the COVID vaccine, and the person doing the shot told me, he's like, "Hey, go Beavers," because I was wearing like all Beaver gear for that one.
Nice.
I mean, that's pretty great. I was at some of the March Madness games since I was in Indiana, so
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
I did get to see Baylor. Not, they didn't win the national title in the game I went to. I went to see them play against Hartford.
Ooh.
So
Matchup of the century.
you know, your classic 116 beatdown. But I also got to see the champions play.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
And I got to see Purdue play too.
If you told me you went to that Gonzaga UCLA game, man.
Yeah, one of my friends went to that because he's a huge Baylor fan. And it was insane. Like, his story was just that shot and them celebrating. Insane. That's one of the best college basketball games, if not the best I've ever seen. So
Bauer's straightening out pretty good here. He's looking much sharper.
Yeah, he was definitely just amped up because of his disdain for Houston, let's say.
Definitely could have played a role in it, yeah.
I mean, it's a nationally televised game. You can say all you want how you don't really care about that, but it's a big deal to be on national TV. And if you're playing the Astros and you've been outspoken about what they've done, he pointed out their spin rates. So it wasn't just the sign stealing.
Right.
So he's been outspoken about what they've done. And then, oh yeah, you play for the Dodgers, the team that they lost to, or that the Astros beat in the World Series. It's a big game. Even though there's no big games this early in the year, it's a big game.
Yeah. Because I've always said, like, if I was running a sports franchise, I would have, like, a mental health coach out there on the bench in the dugout with everybody. Just to, like, say, like, hey, for this exact scenario, I know it's a big game. I know you're excited, but just remember, do our breathing exercises like we talked about before, and just don't let the moment be bigger than you.
Yeah.
Just give them tools to deal with this high pressure.
I mean, that would be a great idea. I wonder if we could see some of that coming in the future.
Yeah, because Kevin Love, I think, was the first one to go out and say, like, he struggled with it during the finals in 2016, 2015.
I mean, I think it was 16 because he was injured in 15. But there's a lot of, I mean, I don't think people talk about it enough. You know, we as fans put a lot of pressure on athletes, and it just sometimes feels like we're not appreciating them enough. So like, and you know, with the shutdown and there being no sports, I kind of took a step back and kind of like just started appreciating what they're doing. Like I can't go out in the World Series and pitch. So like,
Yeah. I tried playing basketball in the park a couple of weeks ago, and I hit one shot.
yeah,
Because I think my moment when I realized they're humans too, let's be easy on them, was that post-game press conference Kershaw gave after the National Series. And he's
yeah,
like, "Yeah, I know I blow it. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do." That's
yeah.
when I realized, like, this is a broken man, and we're not helping him by any means.
It was tough to see. I didn't like seeing people running over his jersey. I'm like, this is one of the greatest pitchers of all time.
Yeah.
And we're just not giving him any respect because he has one bad outing. I mean, in a vacuum, you know, it doesn't like even in a playoff setting, like you can have a bad outing. It just, I think we think these athletes are perfect because
Yeah.
we're not there and they are. So
Yeah, because, and I hate to use this example, but we forget that before Game 2 in the 2017 series, people were asking AJ Hinch to drop George Springer in the lineup
yeah,
because he was that bad into that game, and then he won World Series MVP. It
he was
doesn't matter
unstoppable that series.
like what you do before. If you have that signature moment, everyone forgets.
Yeah, I mean, they want to win too.
Yeah.
So that's why I hate seeing people threaten athletes on social media, like with Ohio State in the tournament. That's a big one.
Danny
Like,
Green after Game 5.
yeah, I just you can be mad. They're mad too. Just don't threaten them. It's
Dang.
just not great. Also, I'd like to point out Bauer allowed one hit going into this inning, and it was the Altuve home run. So that Miles Straw single was the first hit he allowed since Altuve's home run.
Yeah, he's definitely cleaned it up a bit. His pitch count is at 79 right now, like 40 of which were in the first inning.
It's not terrible for
Yeah.
a pitcher these days.
Yeah, he's figuring it out.
Yeah, I could see him. I don't think he finishes the 7th, but I could see him pitching into the 7th at this point.
Definitely possible.
And then you
It's
still
all
have
about pitch count.
Gonzalez and Trinan in the bullpen to get to Kenley Jansen if we take the lead.
Yeah. When we take the lead. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. But
wonder what section Pantone got.
What's that?
Oh, because on the Spectrum broadcast, they're showing the whole Dodger fan section, and I know Pantone's out there for this series, so I guarantee you that's where him and everyone are sitting right now.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Oh, Garcia's pitch count super high too. He's at 82.
81 at the end of the fourth. But tickets weren't too bad. I looked, it was like $25, I think. It's hard when it's or no, for this game.
Oh.
$25.
Because they're at full capacity now, so it's not limited supply drives up the price.
Is Houston at full capacity now?
Yeah, this is the first series
their
after that full capacity.
Okay.
They tried to make it a big deal, like, oh, it's the opening capacity for the Dodgers, but when they announced it, that was just when their next homestand started.
Right.
Right.
What'd you think of the light situation last night?
I don't know if I know what you're talking about.
The lights went out at Minute Maid Park.
Did they?
While Kershaw was pitching.
Oh, wow. Hold on, let me see if I can find this.
Where, like, if it were any other team, we would just dismiss it. But because it's the Astros,
right.
Like...
Oh, okay, because that makes sense. Because I saw a tweet about it, and I had no idea what they were talking about.
Holy crap. They were showing the home run robbery. I can't tell who that is in center field for the Phillies, but that was an insane robbery.
In center field for the Phillies.
I thought it was Roman Quinn, but...
Because McCutcheon in left, Harper in right. Who's in center?
Harper's hurt, so...
Odubel Herrera.
Cabrera's in center. Well, he had a great game, or not great game, great catch to rob Isan Diaz of a homer. So...
I guess that's the benefit of watching the national broadcast. They'll show you what's going on elsewhere.
Yeah.
I just gotta watch the ticker.
I mean, I just figured since I'd watch the national broadcast since it's available nationally and not just a niche LA only broadcast unless you have MLB TV.
See, I learned my lesson about avoiding like national broadcasts if I don't have to for the Dodgers, because Fox famously didn't carry the whole Joe Kelly incident live.
Yeah.
Because we were watching on Spectrum, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on?" I'm like, "You guys aren't watching on Spectrum? They are carrying the whole Correa and Kelly incident live."
Yeah, I was listening to that game because I was at a friend's house and I was driving back home, or not home. I was in Illinois and I was visiting some friends from school who were out there. And I was driving back to my aunt's house and I had to listen to it from the Fox Sports app. So I just didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Like I'm driving.
So wait, so the national broadcast didn't have cameras on that?
From what I understand is they just cut because they have, I think, advertiser responsibilities.
Right.
And we have the same 4 or 5 commercials that play every break. So they just kind of stick with it for a little bit longer. So when they saw like Joe Kelly kind of mouthing off to Correa, they're like, okay, let's hold it for a little bit and kind of see what happens.
Right.
And then once it all hit the fan, we had it live.
There you go.
Yeah. That was definitely interesting. But it kind of endeared Joe Kelly to Dodgers fans, especially it's like they all forgot what happened in Game 5.
Yeah. We don't boo anybody here in Los Angeles, but we booed Joe Kelly. And he was wearing the team colors. But now he forever goes down as a legend for what happened.
He's a legend because of his disdain for Houston. That's an easy way to get. Like, that's why a lot of people should like Bauer, too. Like, he hates the Astros. We hate the Astros, or as a fan base overall. Perfect fit.
Because what did he say after the game? Like, it wasn't just the Yankees and Dodgers that got cheated too. Because he was on that Red Sox team that lost to them in the division series.
Yeah, and that was a hot team going into the playoffs. I mean, I think everyone, it affects everyone. But
I'm looking at this light situation from last night. That is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that the lights went out; it was that they turned them on in the middle of the inning, right?
something like that. I was watching the HotMic for last night's White Sox Cardinals game at the same time, so it's not. I kind of had one eye on the Sox Cardinals game and then one eye on the Dodgers game, so I didn't have full attention on one game. But
right.
Yeah, I was working last night, so I just watched the highlights. And they didn't really bring anything up about that. Ooh. Got away with one.
yeah, I don't think I'm going to use the national broadcast again when I do these.
Yeah. I know I had a little bit of an issue with MLB TV, but I think everyone was behind on the Kelnick one.
I didn't watch that game, so I had family in town.
Yeah.
Be back in a sec, guys.
All right.
I think that one was just mainly Kelnick and Brandon Inge is what we were talking about the whole night.
Yeah. Well, didn't Cleveland's starting pitcher take a no into the eighth or something?
Into the eighth, yeah. But again, you can't really say anything because you get accused of jinxing. Even though I think it is the most ridiculous thing in sports because there is no such thing as a jinx.
I'm fine with jinxing it.
Yeah.
Like, no hitters are special, but
they were special.
They still are, but I think that people in general get tired. Like, what makes them special is that you're used to only seeing them like 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah.
So it's already happened 6 times. It's not even the end of May. You know what the all-time record is for no-hitters in a season? It's 8. In 1884, when the ball was dead and pitchers could doctor it all they want.
Because I think
in the live ball era, the record is 7 in 1990, 91, and 2012. We're on pace to shatter that.
Yeah. Because I think we have to have a discussion about moving the mound back. This is the only thing we can do at this point to save offense.
I mean, they deadened the ball, so...
And we're on track for the lowest batting average since the year of the pitcher.
Yeah, this is just going to be the year of the no-hitter. Even though I think it's funny that the 3 teams have just gotten no-hit multiple times. And the Dodgers do play Texas this year. Or they still have to play them, I should say. So
Walker Buehler, first career no-hitter.
Why not Tony Gonsolin?
Actually, the way this year is going, it will be Tony Gonsolin.
It'll be David Price making his first start with the Dodgers. Or no, I think he started a game as like an opener. But like his first real start, because I don't count bullpen games.
Yeah.
It amazes me that they've been able to do really well with only 4 starting pitchers so far in the last few weeks.
Because as much as I said Roberts' bullpen management was suspect during that whole stretch, the pitching was immaculate that entire time. Like they were just put into lose-lose situations.
Yeah. I mean, the way I see it, when everyone was coming at Roberts for his bullpen management, I don't know who else I'd rather have. Maybe Craig Counsell, because I think he's a great manager.
Yeah.
That's about it. I'll take Dave Roberts.
He's not a bad manager by any means. You know what I mean? I even made sure to point out, I'm like, these guys are being put in unwinnable situations because they're all coming into high leverage situations. In Jansen's case, he was coming into basically extreme high leverage every time he was pitching. And you can't expect them to be perfect every time.
I mean, Mariano Rivera gave up the game or the World Series winning hit. We're not slandering Mariano Rivera.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the greatest reliever of all time.
Looks like I missed a pretty quick Bauer inning there.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you came just in time for the Mariano Rivera.
Yeah, no. Perfect timing.
Greatest reliever of all time. But he gave up hits in the post. Not often, but he did.
Yeah.
I saw a stat the other day where more people have walked on the moon than gotten an earned run off of Rivera in the postseason.
Yeah, that's a classic one.
I didn't know that, so...
Yeah, it's pretty wild to think about that one.
And he's a unanimous Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Only one.
Yeah. Do you think we'll ever see another unanimous Hall of Famer?
Probably at some point, I would think.
I think so. I want to say Kershaw will be, but there's going to be someone who... I think there's just going to be like 1 or 2 writers who's like... who holds out.
I think the postseason resume pre-2020, I think, is what's going to do him in from being unanimous.
I care more about him getting the 75% than 100%.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, people will nitpick when it comes to the Hall of Fame. Someone didn't vote for Derek Jeter. There were people who didn't vote for Ken Griffey Jr. or
Ricky Henderson.
I'm trying to think.
Randy Johnson, Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, Frank Thomas. Like, there were people who said, I do not think they should be in the Hall of Fame this year.
I wonder about Ichiro. I wonder if he could be a candidate for that.
Ooh.
That'd be interesting.
I think the only thing about Ichiro is he doesn't have a ring. And I think
I think people care less and less about that now, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's not as big of an argument.
Public cares less about it, but I don't think the BBWA has adopted that mindset yet.
True, yeah. There's a chance, yeah.
It took 10 years for Larry Walker to get in.
Right.
And he should have, I'm not saying he should have been a first ballot guy, but it's kind of crazy that it took that long.
Yeah.
There's just such a bias against Coors Field, and it's terrible to guys like Walker, to Todd Helton. I think Todd Helton should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Agreed. Every time the community ballot goes around, I vote for Todd Helton.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's what I like to hear.
Fun fact, Todd Helton used to live, I don't know if he does now, but I know he used to live in the same, area. So we both lived in the same, suburb of Colorado.
Nice.
Allegedly, my neighbors, they tell this story all the time, and I kind of believe it and I kind of don't, but my neighbor said that Barack Obama used to go have dinner at the house. And I don't know what to make of that.
In Los Angeles?
Yeah.
I know he went to school out there, so could be feasible.
We're not that or we're close. I don't think it's consistent. Let's drive out here and have dinner type.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, people embellish.
I don't blame you for
sometimes.
Yeah.
But I do know that Todd Helton lived in the same in the same suburb I did, which is why I love Todd Helton.
I was at Todd Helton's last game.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, everyone out here loves him. So
he's one of those guys that's hard to hate.
Yeah. And fun fact, he was the starting quarterback at Tennessee before Peyton Manning.
I think he was the starter over Manning, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, and then he got hurt, and Manning took over, and
I think they both did all right. I think they both figured their things out.
Well, I think the two are still good friends. Doesn't hurt when Manning's a free agent and Todd Helton's still playing in Colorado. Like, hey, why don't you come to the Broncos?
It's a nice city.
You know Kershaw had to be ecstatic when Stafford was traded to the Rams.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were battery mates, right? In high school?
They were.
So
the national broadcast is showing Trevor Bauer and all of his everything he said about Houston, the Free Joe Kelly cleats, him just carrying trash cans and the Trash Town shirt.
Yeah.
Wait, did he throw 5 pitches last inning?
Yeah, it was a really quick inning.
Good for him.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think he would get very far into this game, and here we are in the 6th, and he's at 84 pitches.
Yeah. I forget which one you said it, but you might have been right about the getting into the 7th at least.
Yeah.
Hard to do with a 40-pitch first inning, too.
Yeah. And I think everyone was focused on the lack of control and everything out of the zone, but the stuff was still there.
Yeah. I mean, Trevor Bauer has been I love Kershaw Day.
Yeah.
But Bauer, it's must watch.
See, I love Walker Buehler just because, again, I went to game 163 against the Rockies, and when he just dropped the F-bomb in front of the entire stadium, Love this guy.
He's the next great big game pitcher.
Yeah.
Like, for a while, it was Madison Bumgarner. Now I think it's going to be Bueller because he pitched that game 163.
Uh-oh.
Pitch the dude. Oh, no, I heard the uh-oh.
Now you're all right. I'm pretty shocked, though.
Nope. Oh.
I'm still behind. I'm assuming someone caught it, though.
A catch was indeed made.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm watching the Astros broadcast, and the camera made it look like that ball was gonna hit the second deck or something.
Well, no, because of COVID right now is they can't fly the camera crew out from Los Angeles to there.
Oh, so right, yeah.
We're using the Astros broadcast right now, so I had the same it's gone just in front of the wall.
Yeah, they really messed with us a little bit there.
Same with the national broadcast. The angle, I've noticed with broadcasts in general, you'll pan towards the stands when it's a home run, and the outfielder when it's a fly out. That's a fly out, but they pan to the stands, so I thought it was out of there.
Right. Yeah, that's why you heard me say uh-oh.
I'm just way behind, I guess.
Yeah, so I think I'm about 5-10 seconds behind. It seems like you're 30 seconds behind.
Yeah, darn national broadcast.
Yeah, I think any stream you get, you're gonna be a little bit behind.
Yeah, I just like to do it at my desk in my room because I have the second monitor, so I can just quickly look something up. It's not
right.
Everything's just kind of set up so I can broadcast from here.
Yeah, I built my room
warming up in the pen.
Weird. I do not have space for a second monitor on my desk right now. So I gotta point the camera towards the wall and watch it on the TV.
Got the good old-fashioned single monitor setup.
I'm doing everything off my laptop.
Yeah.
Well, when there's a bunch of old monitors lying around your house, might as well take advantage of it.
Yeah.
I think this might be the last inning for Bauer, just because I saw Nate Jones warming up in the pen.
Yeah.
Maybe if there's a double play here, he could.
Yeah, I was gonna say you might see something that might change your mind in a second here.
Yeah. It fluctuates. I mean, we're thinking at the beginning of this game, this is going to be a terrible outing from Bauer, and he threw 37 pitches in the first inning, and he's at 93.
Yeah.
At least in my broadcast.
And it's the bottom of the lineup for the 7th, so you can see bringing him back out there too.
Yeah.
You don't have to go through Altuve and Bregman again.
Yeah, it's... Are they reviewing that? Yeah, they're reviewing that. He looks out to me, but I think you need definitive proof that it's safe, and it just doesn't look like it. Good call.
Well, Will Smith got the impossible Tim LeCastro, so...
That's right. Yeah, there's nothing he can't do now.
Will Smith is an elite defensive catcher.
That's the goal. Because Barnes can't throw out runners very well.
I was going to say it. I think he's caught up.
The 3 players who have hit home runs this series, I swear.
Where are you at? Where are you at in the game here, Jimmy?
Jones is about to get his at bat.
Okay. Let's just making sure.
That's why I went silent. I'm like, oh god.
Okay, yeah. I feel like I'm like the Grim Reaper or something. Like I just like know what's gonna happen, and
Yeah. Okay.
I just
watching. I saw Correa throw the bat. I'm like, oh no.
Classic Crawford boxes shot too.
I saw the camera go to the Crawford boxes.
Yeah. Never a good sign.
PTSD from that World Series. I've seen that way too much.
Yeah.
If we weren't streaming, there would be a lot of expletives.
I'm proud of you for keeping it under wraps.
Home run to the Crawford boxes though in the World Series.
Yeah. I got it. If I just go dead silent,
we know what happened.
Yeah.
It's because the alternative is me not being allowed to do these streams after I'm done with my rant.
Yeah, that's why I chose not to rehang the poster. Right.
Yeah,
I know I'm gonna
do that again eventually. Alrighty.
All right. Yeah. I'm sure now that he won't.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, basically right before Correa hit that, I was gonna say if he can get Correa quickly, I would bet he goes back out there, but I doubt it now.
I mean, there have been plenty of times. I think Bauer's now at an even 100 pitches, where like Bauer hits 100 after 6. I'm like, all right, so let's give it to the pen, and then he's going out for the 7th. I'm like, what's going on?
It's definitely possible, but
so you know what? He's gonna be pitching in the 7th. Who's on deck? Or who's up? You have Miles Straw, Martin Maldonado, and then Altuve.
See, that's a soft landing for him. If you don't want to burn a bullpen,
you can get Straw and Martin Maldonado out quickly, I would say that's your goal. Get those 2 out and then switch or pull Bauer then. So,
and then you probably bring in Jones at that point.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for the Astros bullpen to come in and start allowing walks like last night. Because Luis Garcia, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk.
Yeah. And he was at 90 pitches last we saw him?
He's at 100, so I can't see him getting any more outs for the Astros here. So it'll be interesting to see who they go to.
They had Jones up, or the Dodgers did, right?
I think they had Brooks Raley up. So I think that's going to be the next guy for them.
Oh, you're saying, yeah, Raley's in the game now. But the Dodgers had Jones up, right?
Yeah, Dodgers have Jones up. We'll see. They might just say to Bauer might just convince Dave Roberts, let me get Straw and Maldonado. If something goes wrong, you can pull me, but...
Yeah.
I'm sure Bauer's not one that is going to volunteer to come out of a game on his own, so...
Definitely not.
I want to see him truck the ball into the Crawford boxes if Roberts comes.
Yeah, if he gets taken out. Up onto the train tracks.
Career high number of pitches for Garcia.
I mean, he was dealing today, so he got the last 10. Ooh, pool horse on deck.
Here we go. Dodger great Albert Pujols.
Dodger legend Albert Pujols.
Put him right next to Jimmy Rollins and Shane Victorino.
That's exactly right. Jim told me.
Older guy, but Eddie Murray.
Yep.
That's a pool. And we really took the three big pieces from that 008 Phillies team.
Rollins,
Rollins,
Utley,
Victorino, just not Ryan Howard.
Ryan Howard just couldn't beat the shift. I mean, it was he was all power when people weren't hitting for power.
Yeah.
That's why he won an MVP. He had a good career, but his contract with the Phillies was not a good one. At least for the Phillies. It was great for Howard.
Yeah. Like, you think Chris Davis regrets signing that contract? Nope.
No. Not for a second. I don't know what happened to Chris Davis. I'm stumped.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Like, he was hitting dinger after dinger and then forgot how to hit, it seems.
So I'll be the first one to admit it. So when that happened, I kind of liked the contract, and I regret thinking that, but I'll admit to my mistakes.
I mean, he became the highest paid Oriole ever.
Yeah.
Like, that's the biggest contract Baltimore's ever given out. And if you're looking at the body of work before he signed that contract, it's not bad.
Oh no, he was a good player.
And there was nothing to indicate either that what ended up happening.
I mean, nobody knew he was going to be like the worst hitter in baseball all of a sudden. So like, yeah, that's a hard one to explain.
Well, Albert Pujols can't ground out into a double play.
That's right.
Today. I looked up the leaderboard for that. He's number one, shocker. Number two is Cal Ripken. And Cal Ripken is closer to 13. I can't remember who was number 13 on that list, but Ripken's closer to 13 than 1.
Yeah. Well, no, because I was looking up the sprint speed leaderboards last week, and the full second difference between Pujols and second to last is incredible.
Like Pujols is like way slower than second to last.
Yeah, it's a full second difference between the two.
Full second.
Second.
Are you saying like feet per second? Like he's a foot behind? You mean?
Or hold on, let me pull it up.
I think
that's what I thought. Yeah.
Feet per second.
Or it was home to first. That's what I was looking up.
And he was a second behind.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah,
I want confirmation on this because that would be pretty shocking.
I mean, it's just numbers confirming what it's like. The numbers confirming the eye test. Like watching him with the Dodgers, and seeing him run to the bases, it's not great.
Yeah.
But we get Albert Pujols home run off of Brad Lidge. Mitch say that ball hasn't reached the earth. Cardinals fans, at least, will say that. So I saw an interesting take that the Astros, the reason why their pitching was so poor in the World Series was because they had to use Roy Oswalt in that game in that game 6. Because that game, if the Astros had held on, they would have gone to the World Series. Oswalt would have started game 1. But they didn't, so they ended up burning their 2 best pitchers, because I think that LCS went to 7 games, and then you're playing a White Sox team that kind of just capitalizes on poor pitches, timely hitting, and it was
one of those,
interesting.
like, you'd rather get there and figure out what to do once you're there than save them when you get there and they just not make it at all.
Right. Yeah, I think that's probably the right mindset to have.
I mean, this was their first ever pennant, so I don't think.
Did we get confirmation on this home to first thing here?
Okay. So I couldn't pull up the home to first, but at the sprint speed, actually the gap narrowed, so it's 0.6 of a foot difference between him and Sandy Leon.
Okay. But Sandy Leon is faster.
Sandy Leon is faster, yeah.
That's tough. That's tough.
So it did improve a little bit from the last time I checked.
That's good.
He's speeding up.
I guess.
The Pujols got faster, Leon got slower. I choose to believe Pujols got faster.
Yeah.
One can hope.
I just hope there's no one on the bases when he's up to bat sometimes. I think I saw the only extra base hits he's had this year are home runs, where it's just impossible to get thrown out.
Yeah.
And I was curious. I looked it up. If he hits one more home run this year without any other extra base hit, which who knows, but he would have the most home runs without a double or a triple in a season.
Does he not have a double this year?
The only extra base hits he has are home runs.
Nice.
So that's just insane to me.
I want to see him try and leg out a triple. Fielder in the
ball would have to do something
Chase
absolutely
Fields.
wild for that.
I mean, he'd be thrown out before he gets to second, but
if he rounds second, man, is it gonna be fun?
Full head of steam, just charging for third base.
Because the only place that can really happen is San Francisco if he hits it in the right spot.
The ball would have to take a wild bounce or something somewhere.
Yeah.
And the fielder would not have to. I could see it happening in Coors, but he would have to go opposite field for that to happen. Because Charlie Blackmon doesn't have a good arm, or doesn't have as good of an arm as he used to. So if he hits it deep at Coors Field, maybe he gets his first double of the year, but that's not until July.
Because everywhere else we're going, there's no way there's enough outfield grass for that to happen.
Yeah.
So watching Nate Jones is reminding me of the pitcher. There was a Marlins relief pitcher who was pretty good, who jumped on when he would release, and I cannot remember his name.
Oh my god!
I think I saw that MLB.com article. Who would
It's on the tip. Carter Capps. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah. What's he up to these days?
I don't know.
He might still be in the league, because every once in a while I see a name like, you're still in the league?
I haven't seen him in years.
Yeah.
I think I don't remember who it was.
Played in the majors since 2017.
Okay.
I don't remember who it was, but there was someone who would intentionally fall over
So
While he was
2015 Carter Caps, he had 16.8 K per nine, with a 1.16 ERA and a 1.10 FIP. So that's pretty good. That'll do the trick.
What was that for? Washington?
Miami. I want to say there was someone on, because I remember there was like they were talking about how his delivery might have been against the rules, and there was some controversy about that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, he hasn't pitched since 2017. I don't know if he's like anywhere else playing. Let me see.
Maybe he's doing a little bit of coaching.
Yeah, I think he might just not be playing anywhere these days. Ooh. Oh, Pools is at first now.
Yeah.
Whoa. He is a current coach for the New York Mets.
Ah, okay. There you go.
Mitch
Did
Williams.
Lux play much like shortstop in any kind of professional ball?
He came up as a shortstop in the minors.
Was he a primary shortstop when he came up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Primary shortstop, but plays second base usually.
I knew he's been
when you have
second base,
Seager.
sure. Right.
Yeah, but
Seager
defensively,
probably won't be a short for super long. But
yeah, I was gonna say defensively, I want Lux before that play, but seeing some of the balls Seager's taking at short, it's been rough to watch.
yeah. Yeah, pretty much like since
That's
the
just
day
a bad
Seager came
throw.
up. It seems like pretty much from the beginning with Seager, everybody was saying that he was destined to be a third baseman.
Yeah.
I mean,
Makes sense.
Yeah, I've watched Seager, and he can stop it, but then it's like he has trouble fielding it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's an infield single.
Because all
Mitch
the big
Williams.
shortstops, Ripken, Rodriguez, they all moved to third eventually. So
Yeah,
I think he's going to be moving to third.
probably once
Not
JT
next
retires.
year or the year after.
Once JT's gone.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Mitch Williams, he was the guy who would fall over after every pitch.
Oh, right, yeah.
He was an all-star closer and walked 17% of the batters he faced.
He gave up the Joe Carter home run, too.
Yep.
Pitchers are weird creatures, man.
Yeah. That's probably the best way of putting it.
Because John Rocker played Survivor. So of course you're gonna lie about being John Rocker, the baseball pitcher. So he decides I'm gonna lie and be John Wetland, the baseball pitcher. Like, dude, come on. And I'm not even getting into all the other stuff he's rather famous for.
Yeah. Probably a good idea.
I try to keep things clean.
Oh, that's brutal.
Oh, you had him.
I know it's going to happen.
Whenever there's just dead silence from Jimmy's side, you know things are not going well.
Yeah.
It's a 2-2 count, but the reactions are not positive.
I'm looking at the replay right now.
Oh, no.
Because I don't want to say anything.
Oh, no.
Yep, here it goes. Oh, you would have had him.
Yeah, it's tough.
Damn it.
Why is he swinging at a pitch that far outside?
Hey, it worked.
I mean, yeah.
About to run home.
But
Maybe he's like German
Altuve
Mercedes and likes the pitch about chin high.
Yeah, he loves those. And that puts Altuve at 4th all-time in Astros hits, for what it's worth.
how many of those came without the assistance of a trash can, though?
Or let me say,
Fair
if you
point.
take away 2017.
I don't know. Altuve was a good hitter before then.
Yeah, I won't say anything like too negative about Altuve because he was still a consistent 300 hitter for years.
Right. And I think I have some sympathy because I think Altuve's. I don't know. You guys are. I mean, as Dodgers fans, I would understand some disdain, but
like Correa, Bregman, Springer, Reddick and Gurriel especially.
Yeah.
Draw my ire.
For me, it's the guys who are still. I mean, everyone does, but everyone. It's.
Because I don't know if it's confirmed that like Beltran was the one that came up with the system, but I've always
he just stopped mid sentence just to go dead silent. Poor guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I always believed it was Reddick that came up with the system because he had some of the more egregious home road splits in 2017, and if you remember when he got traded to the Dodgers,
he was awful.
He couldn't hit.
He forgot how to hit.
I remember, like, if I remember correctly, it was like it seemed like Beltran and Cora were sort of like the like masterminds of it. But yeah, you were right about Reddick because his home road splits were like enormous.
I mean, I was looking at it last night in preparation for today, just because I knew it would inevitably come up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it started with a player who was struggling at the plate for the Astros and had success stealing signs elsewhere. And then a coach was all for it. And given the findings eventually being it was mostly Cora who implemented it.
Mm-hmm.
And Beltran, I have to believe those were the people they were referring to.
Yeah, because I do remember hearing the allegations that the Yankees were doing it too, and he just came from the Yankees.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be all that surprising to find out if there's like a lot of stuff like that going around with a lot of teams, but I'm sure everybody's a lot more worried about it now that it came out for at least one team.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the Rockies and what Eric Kratz said the other day.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Eric Kratz, I don't know. It was weird because I don't know if he said like a recent World Series team, which like everyone just kind of assumed it was the Dodgers. And there were Brewers fans who will say the Dodgers were stealing signs. I don't know.
No,
yeah, it's hard to
I
say.
didn't read too much into the story, but I thought he said the Rockies had a sign stealing system in place in 2018.
I think that was like his main point.
Yeah. Didn't work because they didn't get hits. So
maybe that's what's so special about Coors.
Yeah, you just know when the pitch is coming.
I mean, that Rockies team, it was all stars, and then like you look at the top of their line, like their top 3 players, and you're like, wow, this is a good team. And then as you go down, you're like, how are they in the majors?
The old stars and scrubs model.
Yeah, that's really the best way of describing it, because there's like that's why they've had a league below league average offense despite having star players. It's just
starting Ian Desmond consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thinking Ian Desmond was worth the money they paid him to play first base when he wasn't. thinking, the Charlie Blackmon extension doesn't look great either.
Yeah.
I mean, it was more justifiable. It just has not aged well.
Yeah, because you could assume he would still play a corner outfield spot well. He wasn't going to be a center fielder for much longer.
Yeah. I think I'm surprised he hasn't moved to first base yet. He just does not have an arm.
Yeah.
Anymore. Or, hopefully when the DH comes in, he'll be a DH.
Are you guys both pro DH?
Yes.
Good to hear.
The games were so much more fun with the DH in 2020.
Yes.
I'm
sure we have. I know we have some colleagues that don't agree, but that's all right.
Who did we lose because they got injured hitting in spring training?
Zach Gallen.
Yeah.
And apparently it just. I think I saw it today that DeGrom, when he hurt his side, that he thinks it was from hitting as well. So.
Yeah.
I mean, another notable one is Jimmy Nelson. He was having a great season in Milwaukee and then gets hurt running the bases.
Right.
Like, that just doesn't happen if there's a DH.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I love the Bartolo home run, the Ryu home run, but those are few and far between.
Right, yeah. It's enough that it's negligible at a certain point.
I mean, it's not worth losing Jacob deGrom and Zach Gallen for a while.
Right.
The other thing, too, is that MLB, if you want more offense, stop giving pitchers at bats.
Right. Yeah, I've been seeing recently there's been some work on that, like with how high strikeout totals are. And obviously it's just like one spot in the lineup, but when you compare last year to this year, obviously now you have pitchers in half the lineups, and then also apparently they're doing particularly poor this year. So that's just driving league stats down too.
Yeah, I'd have to imagine there's a little bit of impact.
Right, yeah.
Especially with American League teams playing in National League stadiums, because those pitchers never have to hit.
Right.
Yeah, watching Verlander at bats is horrible. And when Rich Hill had to hit consistently for us, that was painful to watch.
Yeah, I'm sick of seeing pitchers hit. I'm fine if you want to put Madison Bumgarner at DH.
Yeah.
Heck, he might be the
I believe the game a couple
option.
Years ago. Yeah, I think the Giants played against an AL team on the road, and they he was their DH even when he wasn't pitching.
Yeah. I remember Joe Torre would have Randy Wolf pinch hit sometimes for the Dodgers. That's not unprecedented.
There you go.
I mean, it's better than seeing Kershaw pinch hitting when your bench is empty.
Yeah.
Well, I also love hearing Oral Hershiser and Joe Davis on the Dodgers broadcast whenever Kershaw's up to bat talking about his Silver Slugger campaign. I celebrate exponentially more when a pitcher gets a hit because it just doesn't happen as much.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember that Kershaw's only career home run on opening day, my family, we all watch it together. So they had gone to run errands real fast between innings. So it was just me, and I'm like, no way, Kershaw hit the home run. So I told them to get back, and they didn't believe me.
Until they saw that he actually did. That is a great hit by Sheldon Noisy.
Yeah, that was a rocket.
First pitch just cranks that to center field.
Still got some life in us.
And it's not over.
And you have the top of the lineup now.
Yeah.
I always like with guys like Betts, like when it seems like oh they're having like it seems like they're struggling.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked earlier today because I knew that like he hadn't been quite as good as he usually was, but like it seems like he's struggling. But his WRC plus is still 129 right now.
Yeah.
So like when somebody's like ridiculously good, if they all of a sudden are just like pretty good, it seems like oh they're falling apart.
It's a huge drop off.
Yeah.
Right.
Like 2019 Mookie Betts had like a 900 OPS, and it was like, oh my God, what happened to Mookie Betts and everything? He's still an elite hitter.
Yeah.
It's just we can't have, Mike Trout level consistent excellence from everybody. It's not humanly possible.
Yeah.
And I think another thing is when we see a baseball player's best season, we just kind of expect that to be the norm. So people will say like, oh, what happened to, I mean, Chris Davis, bad example. He's genuinely a bad hitter. But like,
Bryce Harper.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say.
He's having a great year, and he's been great for the Phillies, but they're not in the playoffs. So, and it's not his 2015 numbers. So,
yeah. I think sometimes people have a hard time understanding because 2015 he was like Barry Bonds, and you just like can't expect that out of people. Like you have your ceilings, but you're not always gonna reach them.
He's forever gonna be chasing that 2015 season.
Yeah.
He doesn't need. I mean, like you said, like he's been he was awesome last year, and he's been pretty good this year.
Yeah, because I remember the quote, if you take away 2015, Bryce Harper isn't that good, and if you take away the moon landing, Buzz Aldrin isn't a good astronaut.
Right. Yeah. Good play there.
I think Eddie Matthews is another way older player who was insanely good when he was young, and people expected him to maintain that, and he never did. But he's still an all-time great third baseman.
Yeah.
Did he have a rough aging curve?
I couldn't tell you. I just know his best season came at 23.
Yeah, it looks like his best season was his second year in the league. But he was quite good for a long time.
But he's a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's not like he just became a bum. It's just he's another guy who was just chasing a career year that happened early in a long career.
Right. Yeah, like with Harper, he's on a pretty solid Hall of Fame trajectory.
Yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Plus the wear and tear of a baseball season is so much harder than any other sport. Well, not football, but you get a lot of rest in between.
Just with the length, yeah.
Yeah, with the length, it's hard to, be great all the time.
Yeah.
Like LeBron James could put up 60 points and it'll skew his points per game average. You can only really get, at most, 4 or 5 hits a game, and that's not going to skew your batting average that much.
Right.
Yeah. You can't. I forgot what I think of it. The quote was, "You can't lie to the long season," something like that. But the point was, you can't trick a long season.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that even more with the StatCast numbers becoming more and more prominent.
Yeah.
You can't trick a long season.
Yeah, because how long was Joe Musgrove just kind of average until, with elite StatCast numbers, until he got traded to the Padres and broke out?
I actually wrote about this. He had really good StatCast numbers. His last 5 starts of 2019, he got hurt early in 2020, but when he came back, he was elite for Pittsburgh. It's just they're the worst team in baseball, so no one cares. And then he finally fully breaks out with the Padres because he doesn't have to worry about.
Might have a little drama here, fellas.
Yeah.
I like it.
So I wrote about it, and that was something I'm proud of it,
Yeah, and I think Musgrove has been was a popular breakout pick for a while. So
yeah, he had elite stuff. It's just he kept throwing his fastball, and that's not his best pitch. His slider and curveball are way better.
Yeah.
And he's throwing that more with San Diego, and he's a better pitcher in San Diego.
Have either of you seen the hit by pitch yet?
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
No. It skipped over it.
It did?
It skipped over it. Yuli Gurriel up to bat, and then I see the buffering screen, and now Correa's at bat. I'm like, no,
we'll show it again, but...
All right, so let me... What do you think the chances are in the top of the inning that a Dodger gets hit?
Is Turner leading off?
Turner's up.
Oh, they're hitting Turner.
Turner is the all-time leader in hit by pitches for a Dodger.
That's right, yeah.
Not much.
Things might get a little spicy if that happens.
It depends on it. I'll say 40%. 40%. Like I feel like that's reasonable enough where it's like, this is a petty team, but everyone loves Dusty Baker, and he may just be like, don't do this. We're winning by 3, or we're winning. I don't know if it's going to be 3 by the end of this inning, but we're winning. Don't give them a free base.
Yeah. But it's that old school baseball mentality, man. Like, you'd think it would be done away with by now, but this whole White Sox thing has shown nope.
Well, Tony La Russa is stuck in the past.
Yeah.
I think it's more of his inability to adapt than anything else. I'm fine if, like, you're going to call out someone, if you didn't get the sign, that's reasonable, I think. Mm-hmm. You ignore the sign, the coaches can deal with it internally. Like, yeah. But I don't think you should A, make it public, or B, openly say it's okay for another team to throw at my guy.
Mm-hmm.
That just shows to me that TLR is not going to fight for his guys, even if when he thinks they're wrong.
Yeah, because we saw what happened to poor Ken Pillar if a pitch is placed wrong. I mean, like, you aim for the back, all of a sudden, sails on you. You break the guy's nose.
Yeah. I mean, why would... Just don't throw at people.
It's usually...
Yeah.
Why would someone good advice?
Throwing the ball 95 miles an hour at someone's back?
Yeah, don't throw behind people. And if your player is getting thrown at, don't say you support it.
Yeah.
I think TLR is going to be gone after this year.
How long was this for?
I don't know, but it's the clubhouse, he's already lost the clubhouse, and it's not even 50 games into the year.
It appears the contract is for multiple years.
Telling you, that's probably your next great baseball book, depending on how this plays out, is the 2021 White Sox.
Right.
It's painful to watch, just not because the team's bad, but it's the opposite. They're so good, and it just feels like La Russa's mismanaging the talent he is given.
Yeah.
Because talent-wise, I would say White Sox are top tier.
Oh, they have all the talent in the world.
But, you know, we can laugh about the bullpen management or not knowing that you can have Abreu or whoever it was run instead of Liam Hendricks.
Mm-hmm.
But tough. In a short series, if you make one of those mistakes, the consequences are more than just a regular season loss.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why, like, I always replay those postseason games in my mind. I'm like, what could we have done differently in this one? What could we have done differently in this one? It's under such
dangerous
a
game to play.
Yeah. Well, I don't do it anymore.
Like,
We won.
That's
you could look at 162 regular season games and ask that, but if you're in the playoffs, you're probably not going to ask that. So you're just under a larger microscope, and the White Sox are too talented to miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think if they don't make it to the LCS, La Russa's not going to have a lot of fans in that, even less fans in that front office. Because I don't think people even like him now. It's just, this is Jerry's pick.
Yeah.
Did you see how he was holding the bat on that bunt? Like, both of his hands were, like, together, like, halfway up.
Yeah. It worked. He got on base.
That was a good bunt.
Old school baseball fans right now are just ecstatic. I know when I pay for a ticket, I go to watch these guys lay down a nice sacrifice bunt.
Nothing like it.
Yeah, because anyways, going back to the White Sox, like, I see them beating Houston and whatever team comes out of the AL East as the wild card.
If
Yeah,
not
they're
multiple AL East teams. Whatever one, yeah. I just don't think they can beat the Yankees. It's close.
Yeah.
But
especially the way Kluber's been pitching, like, that just gives the Yankees what they've been missing this whole time.
Well, Kluber's out for 2 months.
But, like, down the road.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I hope he's all right.
Yeah.
Man's been injured for too long, and he's a 2-time Cy Young winner. Like, the talent's there. I feel like no one talked about him. Like, obviously, he threw no hitter for the Yankees, but it was kind of a revenge game when you think about it, because he only pitched 1 inning for Texas, and they're like, okay, we're not gonna. Like, it was just so cool to see him go back to Texas and say, here's what you're missing out on. You let this happen.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what do we think? Do the Dodgers have a rally in them? I'm sure you hope so.
I believe
hope so. Let me see.
4 and 5.
Turner, Smith, Lux.
So
those are good hitters.
to do it. It's this part right here.
Yeah. Turner, Smith, Lux, and then Taylor is fourth.
And then
he's having a
Dodger
good year.
legend,
So
Albert Pujols.
that's right, Dodger legend Albert Pujols. Yeah, this is the part of the lineup that could do it if it were to happen. We'll see. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
Time will tell.
Because if Turner gets on right here, my confidence goes way through the roof.
Yeah. We'll see what happens because Gurriel got hit by pitch, first pitch of the at-bat.
Yeah.
So maybe they take notice. Hopefully not. I mean, I'll take the free base, sure, but I just don't want people getting thrown at.
Yeah. Because especially with Turner, and we lost him for a good chunk because of a hit by pitch a couple years ago.
Yeah. And we've lost Seager to a hit by pitch this year. I don't want to see it happen.
Yeah.
And if they didn't do it on the first guy, they probably wouldn't do it.
Yeah, that's when you would do it.
Right. For the best.
So 40% chance now goes to like, I'm just going to say 6% chance.
Yeah. Very calculated.
Well, it was going to be Turner if it was going to be anyone. He was on that 17 team. Smith and Lux weren't. And there's 2 more outs.
And if Smith and Lux get on, you're not hitting Chris Taylor.
Yeah. Maybe Albert Pujols can draw a hit by pitch, but then it's not intentional. We're going way too far into this.
Yeah.
But is tomorrow an off day for LA?
Yeah.
And then they're going back home to play San Fran.
Oh, man, I want to be there for that.
What's stopping you?
Work. No, you can't ask for time off on the weekends anymore.
Right.
Where do you work? Oh, sorry. Where did you work, Joseph?
Yeah. Oh, I work at a movie theater.
Nice.
Do maintenance at my old high school, and I do that in the mornings, so I have like my afternoons free.
Alrighty, down to their last out here.
I can
not
to my
not liking the odds here. Although, as Han Solo would say, never tell me the odds.
That's exactly right.
I've seen crazier things happen than coming back from this kind of deficit.
This group is known for some pretty ridiculous comebacks, so.
This is fair. This is fair.
I mean, Game 2 of the NLCS last year, the tying run was 90 feet away after they were down like 6 or 7 runs.
Yeah.
So.
Why are you guys leaving? Well, my broadcast is showing like Houston fans already filing for the exit.
They already know what's going to happen.
Fake fans.
Just stay. It's your team.
Your team is beating the Dodgers. You
Doesn't
can't
happen
stay
that
for
often.
the final out. I don't know.
Gotta beat traffic.
Yeah, I guess.
Because Houston is a zoning nightmare. Because they have gentlemen's clubs next to, like, houses out there.
Where is that, Houston?
Yeah, that's Houston.
Nice. All right, they got a runner on.
5
Not to
pitch
spoil
walk.
anything.
All right.
Yeah, because there it is.
All it takes is one runner to start a rally.
That upgrade is too.
Okay. That's not good. The ESPN broadcast is showing the number of strikeouts and the number of hits entering today. Oh, almost 1,300 or 13,000 strikeouts.
Oh my God.
And a little over 11,000 hits.
Well, it's like I was saying earlier, man, and like Trevor Bauer and Driveline prove it. Like, pitching development is such a precise science. It's impossible to do anything now.
Yeah.
Add in the fact that hitting a 95 per hour fastball is just hard to do in general. And now you have all this movement, and it's not easy to hit a baseball anymore.
I can't hit 60 at the batting cages.
It'll be interesting to see how the MLB reacts to the increased strikeout rate, less hits, less balls in play.
Like, the only really... Because you can't undeaden the ball, because then you have the same problem you had before.
Too much offense.
So the only real solution is you have to move the mound back.
Well,
Yeah, maybe.
I have deadened the ball.
Or we double down and we deaden the ball some more.
Right. I don't know if that's the right move. Just go all in.
Or
That's
we
what they're
just
gonna
make it
do,
a
though.
video game and legalize steroids for hitters and bring in the DH. So that way pitchers can't be juicing and hitting.
Yeah, well, everyone talks about, that Barry Bonds, Eric Gagne at bat when they were both
Yeah.
juicing and how legendary
Yeah.
that was. Let's just let everyone juice.
Yeah.
I mean, if the ball is spinning as much as it is, the foreign substances are just as effective. So
Yeah.
let's have the hitters juice. Maybe that's a solution. It's not. Of course, Barry Bonds might not like it. Couldn't do that when I was around. But
Oh, the irony of that.
also, what about Shohei Ohtani? Would he not be allowed to?
This is quite the hypothetical we got going here.
Just in one arm, in the left arm he can juice.
There you go, yeah.
Not in the
But
right.
he's a left-handed batter.
But he throws right-handed, so that doesn't affect the pitching.
Okay. I thought he was a lefty.
Oh, if that's how steroids work.
Maybe we'll just have the Shohei Ohtani rule, where if you are consistently hitting as a pitcher, you are not allowed to juice. But the man's a freak.
I don't think he needs any help.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Albert get up here as the tying run, just for the fun of it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Dodgers legend Albert Pujols.
That's exactly right.
And then cranks one into the Crawford boxes.
And
He would
just
have
like
a
the
spot
old
right
days.
next to Kelly in the Dodgers Hall.
Hell yeah.
It is still a possibility. That was a fun theoretical to think about. Everyone's just
Alright.
juicing.
Yeah.
We got it here.
That's when baseball was at its most relevant in the past 30 years, was the home run race.
Well, after the
Cool.
strike, I would say
Yeah.
94. Yeah, let's legalize foreign substances for the pitchers and steroids for the hitters.
What do you do about the fact that steroids are illegal, like according to the United States government as well?
Right.
That's a tough one. Huh?
Bribery.
There you go.
Well, weed it's illegal, like federally it's illegal, but like in Colorado it's illegal. So
Legal in California.
we legalize steroids in states that have major league teams.
There you go. Perfect solution.
Also, that pitch was a little suspect, that last pitch at Chris Taylor.
Yeah.
Nearly took
we got what we
95
want,
to
though,
six.
Yeah.
What more did you
Well,
ask
like-
for?
The
Yeah.
6%. The 6%.
We got Pools tying run in Houston. This is storybook.
Oh, this has to happen.
Please.
I'll if something happens,
They're
I'm gonna have to not react.
Park
I
numbers
gotta
right
let
now.
you guys have it.
33 home runs in 151 games.
Oh no.
I also have to point this out. It is impossible for him to ground out into a double play.
Good
Oh,
point.
he'll
Very
find a
good
way.
point. Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
he
so if
would.
something happens, I'll just say nothing so you guys can enjoy it.
Yeah, Brayu does not have his control, and I'm so here for it right now.
He's all over the place.
I'm cool with it.
I can roll with this for a little while.
What do you guys think of the Ghost Runner rule?
I'm not a fan. I don't think I am.
It's just not fun.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems kind of. I don't know. I don't think I like it though.
If you create a rule where it is now possible to lose throwing a perfect game, it's a bad rule.
Right.
I don't even think it's a perfect game then, because
No, because it's
a
a
perfect
ghost
game,
runner
no base runners.
through your own fault, though. So if they just put the ghost runner on second and then 2 sack flies, all of a sudden you lost while throwing a perfect game.
And then it's not even considered a perfect game, even though it is. Because I think it's not considered a no-hitter if you don't win the game.
No, because it's a no-hitter because the Angels threw one against the Dodgers in like 2009 and lost.
As only the Angels could. But
We got a good battle going here at the plate.
Oh no, I thought he turned on one for a second. He just fouled it off.
yeah. My idea for extra innings is 10th inning, no runners on. 11th, you have a runner on first. 12th, runner on first and second. 13th, bases loaded. And then 14th inning, there's only 2 outs. You already have an out when the inning starts.
Yeah.
And then the 15th inning, there's only 1 out.
16th metal bats.
And then from there, you just start taking away pitches. Like you have a fixed count with the bases loaded. Not that that idea would matter for tonight.
Yep.
As Albert Pujols strikes out swinging.
Well, hey, we got what we wanted. We got Pujols' tying run.
Yeah. We had me intrigued for a second there.
It allowed me to bring in my extra innings theory, so...
Yeah, well, you can call the Major League Baseball offices and let them know what you think. 17th inning, bouncy balls, metal bats. Everybody starts with a 2-0 count.
We're taking away strikes. Like, you're already in an 0-1 count. Like, just finish the game.
Yeah. I think
that's the adjustment we need.
You bring back old school baseball where the hitter would ask the pitcher to throw it in a certain location.
Yeah. Or the underhand.
Maybe that could be part of it in like the 19th inning or something. Like the hitter has to tell the pitcher, you get 1 pitch, full count, 1 pitch, and the hitter has to tell the pitcher where to throw it.
Well, guys, this has been fun. I enjoyed watching it with you.
Yeah.
Sorry you Dodger fans couldn't get your win, but
yeah,
you'll get many more.
Kershaw got his win, and I think that's what we wanted the most.
That's there you go. Take what you can get. All right.
And Bauer did pretty well after that poor first inning. So.
Yeah, he straightened it out. All right, well, good times.
Yes, sir.